Hello everyone and welcome back to EMP English Hub podcast. We are very happy that you are joining us today for another beginner-friendly English conversation where we speak slowly, clearly, and in long sentences so you can practice listening and understanding every single word with confidence.
Hello, dear listeners. We are excited to have you here with us again, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about hobbies and free time activities, which is a very useful topic for daily conversations when you meet new people and want to know more about their interests.
Jenny, I think hobbies are a great topic because when you meet someone for the first time, one of the easiest and most natural questions you can ask is, "What do you like to do in your free time?" And that question can start a long and interesting conversation.
Yes, Eric, that is absolutely true. And talking about hobbies also helps learners use the present simple tense because we usually describe our regular activities, such as reading books, watching movies, playing sports, or learning new skills after work or school.
So Jenny, let me ask you a simple beginner question in a clear and slow way. What do you usually like to do in your free time when you finish your work and you finally have a few quiet hours for yourself?
That is a very nice question, Eric. And in my free time, I usually like to read interesting novels, listen to relaxing music, and sometimes watch educational videos online because I enjoy learning new things in a calm and comfortable environment.
That sounds wonderful, Jenny, and I really like how you use the word usually to describe something you do regularly, because adverbs of frequency like always, usually, often, sometimes, and never are very important in daily English conversations.
Thank you, Eric. And yes, I think using adverbs of frequency makes our sentences more natural and more specific. Because instead of saying I read books, I can say I usually read books in the evening, which gives more information to the listener.
In my case, I often spend my free time playing the guitar and practicing new songs, because music helps me relax after a long and stressful day, and it also allows me to express my feelings in a creative way.
That is very interesting, Eric, and I like how you explained not only what you do, but also why you do it, because when we talk about hobbies, it is always good to add reasons using words like because, so, and that's why.
Yes, exactly, Jenny. For example, I can say, I play the guitar because it makes me feel calm and happy, and this structure is very useful for beginners who want to give longer and more meaningful answers instead of very short sentences.
I agree with you, Eric, and I would also tell our listeners that when you practice speaking English, you should try to answer questions with at least 2 or 3 connected ideas so your conversation becomes more fluent and natural.
Jenny, do you think hobbies are important only for fun, or do you think they can also help people improve their skills and personal development in different areas of life?
I believe hobbies are not only for fun, but they are also very important for personal growth, because when someone practices painting, writing, cooking, or even learning a new language, they develop patience, creativity, and discipline.
That is a very thoughtful answer, Jenny, and I completely agree with you, because many successful people say that their hobbies helped them discover hidden talents and new passions that later became part of their careers.
Yes, Eric, and sometimes a simple hobby that starts as a small activity at home can slowly grow into something bigger, especially when a person practices regularly and truly enjoys the process of learning and improving.
Let's teach our listeners a useful question they can ask in English. For example, they can say, "How often do you practice your hobby?" which is a very common and friendly question in everyday conversations.
That is a great example, Eric, and if someone asks me that question, I can answer by saying, I practice my hobby 3 times a week, or I practice my hobby every weekend, which clearly shows frequency and routine.
Another helpful sentence beginners can use is, "I am interested in," followed by a noun or a gerund, such as, "I am interested in photography," or "I am interested in learning foreign languages in my free time."
Yes, and it is important to remember that after the preposition in we use the ing form of the verb, so we say interested in reading or interested in playing sports, and this is a very common grammar pattern in English.
Jenny, do you think people's hobbies change as they grow older and experience different stages of life, such as school, university, or full-time work?
Absolutely, Eric. I think hobbies often change over time because our responsibilities, interests, and goals change, so a teenager might enjoy video games every day, while an adult might prefer gardening or cooking in a peaceful environment.
That makes perfect sense, and it shows that hobbies reflect our personality and lifestyle, which means that when we talk about our hobbies, we are also sharing something personal about who we are as individuals.
I completely agree, and that is why asking about hobbies is a polite and friendly way to get to know someone better without asking very personal or uncomfortable questions.
Let's give our listeners a short example dialogue they can practice at home. For example, one person can say, "What do you like to do in your free time?" and the other person can answer with a detailed explanation.
Yes, and they can continue the conversation by asking follow-up questions like, "How did you start this hobby?" or "How long have you been doing it?" which makes the discussion longer and more interesting.
Speaking of that, Jenny, how long have you been reading novels regularly, and what type of books do you usually prefer when you choose something new to read?
I have been reading novels for many years, and I usually prefer mystery and historical stories because they allow me to travel to different times and places through imagination and detailed storytelling.
That sounds fascinating, and I like how you used the present perfect tense when you said, "I have been reading," because that tense is useful when we talk about something that started in the past and continues until now.
Thank you, Eric, and I think our listeners should practice using this tense when they describe long-term hobbies, because it helps them sound more natural and grammatically correct.
Sometimes people say they do not have any hobbies because they are too busy, but I believe everyone can find at least a small activity that brings them joy and relaxation, even if it is only for a short time each week.
I agree with you completely, because even simple activities like taking a walk, writing a journal, or learning new vocabulary words can become meaningful hobbies if we do them regularly and with interest.
Before we finish, let's encourage our listeners to speak out loud and answer this question right now. What is your favorite hobby and why do you enjoy it so much?
Yes, dear listeners, please pause this episode for a moment and try to answer in full sentences, and remember to include details about frequency, reasons, and how long you have been doing this activity.
Practicing in this way will improve your speaking confidence and help you organize your thoughts in English without translating every word from your native language.
And the more you repeat and practice, the more natural your pronunciation and sentence structure will become, which is very important for real-life conversations.
We hope today's discussion about hobbies and free time activities helped you learn new vocabulary and useful sentence structures that you can apply in daily conversations with friends, classmates, or colleagues.
Yes, and remember that learning English is like a hobby too, because the more time and passion you invest in it, the more progress and satisfaction you will see in your journey.
Thank you so much for listening to EMP English Hub podcast. We truly appreciate your support and we are proud of your dedication to improving your English step by step with us.
Please do not forget to subscribe to EMP English Hub podcast, share this episode with your friends, and keep practicing every day. And until next time, thank you again and goodbye.